Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Oh, well, we're back with Canadian whiskey for a little while. We've got Canadian Leaf. Well, I should go this way, huh? Albertsons Canadian Whiskey, a blend. This might be older. Well, we know Albertsons was founded in 1939. Now, how long they've been getting private label whiskey? I doubt it's back to 1939, but it could have been a long time. I don't know the history of private label brands, how long they've been around. Probably a good while. Anyway, this is imported from Canada. It is bottled in the United States at County Line Distillers of Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. What do we know about this? Not a whole lot. We know it's 40 proof. It's a Sazerac brand, or as it says here, bartonbrands.com. But if you dial the number 1-866-729-3722, they're gonna answer the phone, and actually it's gonna be Buffalo Trace that answers that number. That's where they're, because I asked the lady, I said, where am I? No, so where are you located? And she said, we're at Buffalo Trace. That's one of the Sazerac companies. That's in Frankfort. Okay, so then Frankfort, Kentucky. Then we've got Canadian Leaf. Premium, you see now. Premium. It's not just regular old whiskey, it's premium. Try to get it to where the glare is not so bad. There's a little light coming in outside. It's 6:05 a.m. and I'm starting to see light. Okay, so every Dawn Busters I do until June, end of June, is going to be brighter sooner, okay? Canadian Leaf, what do we know about this? Well, not a whole lot, except that I found out it was introduced in 1961. It's Canadian whiskey with natural flavors of some sort. It is bottled by Oak Park Distilling Company of Baltimore, Maryland. That is Majestic Distilling, and that is owned by Sazerac Company. And they do not have a phone number on this bottle. Well, this is a small, oh wait, retraction. It's so tiny I couldn't see it. We love to hear from our customers. 1-800-728, or can't you read it so small? Well, it's dark in here too. 729-3722. Yeah, same number. Okay. All right. So Sazerac. And they cover the shelves, right? They got Pappy Van Winkle at the top in the case, where you got to get the man to unlock the case, and they've got Canadian Leaf for $1.99 a plastic bottle at Specs in Texas, or Albertsons Canadian whiskey, a blend, for $4.99 at Albertsons in Baton Rouge. Okay, well, these are very similar to each other. Now, some people might say, oh, it's the same thing in two different bottle labels. That's a possibility, but we cannot say that for sure. And secondly, they're bottled at two different places. One is in Maryland, and then one is go a state over to the west in Kentucky. So why, if it's the same thing, why would it be at two different places? And secondly, when I was checking the trademark history of this Canadian Leaf, that was their original trademark holder, Majestic Distilling. Okay, so apparently it's always been coming from Maryland and well, bottled there, and it just was sucked up by the Sazerac buyout, because Barton bought Majestic, and then Sazerac bought Barton. And who will buy Sazerac? I don't know. It's a privately owned, family-owned company. Mr. and Mrs. William Goldring. Maxwell says, hello, Ron. Glad to see you. How are you in general? Hello, Maxwell. Greetings to you over in Russia. I'm doing very well in general, and I'm doing very well in particular. Okay, I think Oh, they're the same shade of amber gold, similar alcohol eggs. Are they the same recipe? I don't know. They don't give the recipe for these Canadian whiskeys. They just say, I mean, they don't give it for any of their whiskeys, but they'll kind of give a general rundown for some of them. There's no website information for the Albertsons, and there's only just a listing for the Canadian Leaf on the Sazerac, www.sazerac.com website. It shows that it has a picture of the various bottle sizes and that proof, you know, the 80 proof, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no write-up. It's just saying, it's basically, and that's basically for purchasers, you know, wholesalers that want to buy it. They can look up and say, okay, let's get some 375s, or let's get some 1 liters, you know, that kind of thing, and then they'll order it. But the general consumer, how many people you think are really looking that up? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot. It might not just be me who's all into it, you know. Are these going to be different? They may be, but I never did assume they were going to be appreciably different. And as we learned with the Albertsons Kentucky whiskey, the Kentucky blended whiskey. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. They called it Albertsons American blended whiskey. I couldn't tell it apart from all the other blended whiskeys. Really, it had me totally confused. So one person tried it and talked to me about how horrible it was, but then that same person drank stuff that I couldn't tell apart from it, and he said it was good. So I don't know. It can trip you up. I think they call it American whiskey, not Kentucky, because it's not distilled in Kentucky. It's blended there, but it's probably coming from Indiana. This stuff is definitely coming from Canada. Reaper Actual says, I've never been a fan of Canadian whiskeys. I prefer Irish whiskey and American bourbon. Yeah, I've heard other people say that. You know, it's a real big world out there, right? So I know some people that hate Canadian whiskey, and then I know one guy, you know, they're always talking about bourbon over there at the Knights of Columbus. So one guy, Dave, says, I've never been a bourbon guy. I said, no, what do you like? He said, oh, I like Canadian blended whiskey. That's what I prefer, those good blends. So you see, and there's obviously a huge market for it, right? Because if you go to any of the liquor stores here, which means go to any grocery store here, okay? In Louisiana, we don't have liquor stores. Typically, we just have grocery stores and gas stations that sell liquor. But some parishes do have liquor stores because they have more restrictive alcohol laws. But getting back to this, so if you go to Walmart, or even more so to Dorgnac's or Martin Wine Cellar or Albertsons, there's a huge, it's like a whole section of Canadian whiskeys. Okay, so somebody likes it, right? Now the Irish whiskey would be a kind of small section. Well, you know, Ireland is a small country, so maybe there's not a whole lot of production. But then Scotland's small too, right? But look how much Scotch is coming over here. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I know there's more Irish people in America than they've got in Ireland. You know, Ireland's about the size of Louisiana, except it has less people. You know, it's not big. Okay. But nice, from what I've heard. My daughter went there. She talked about how nice it was. And an acquaintance of mine, really, Brother Knight, is over there in Ireland right now. He won a contest. He had, like, sold the most Knights of Columbus insurance for the whole United States this past year. And as a reward, he got to go on an all expenses paid trip to Ireland, the home of Father Michael McGivney, the founder of the Order of the Knights of Columbus. So he's having a great time. And I'm looking at the pictures thinking, well, that's fun. I get to go to Georgia this year. See the new Atlanta Braves Stadium. And all you did was go to Ireland. Okay, on with the taste challenge. I'd like to go to Alaska and Hawaii. I don't have any great interest of going to Alaska and Hawaii. It's just that I want to go so I can say I've been to all 50 states. Actually, I've been to 48 states and I got 2 left, Alaska and Hawaii. That's the real reason for that. Okay, this smells like the Albertsons Canadian whiskey, and I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. I don't know why this is doing this now. It's not affecting the broadcast, but I'm looking at the playback and it runs for a while and then it just starts the little circles going around and it's not playing. It's like buffering, which is fine. I don't need to look at myself in a playback, but I always get paranoid that it's cut off, but it isn't. I don't know. I can't explain the internet. They're always changing their settings, you know. This smells like the Albertsons whiskey, and what I mean is it's got that funny, and I don't mean bad, I just mean funny in the sense that it's odd. Fruit thing, and then somebody was telling me about plum wine, and I put that in my head. You see, they said they flavor Canadian whiskey with plum wine. I've never seen anything official for that. It seems plausible. You go to the liquor store and go look at all these Canadian whiskeys, and but I bet you half or more than half the label's going to say with natural flavors, you know. The American blended whiskeys can have up to 2% blending sherry wine. It's probably dry sherry, probably not cream sherry, but they don't even have to disclose it. If it's below if it's no more than 2.0%, they don't have to even say it. It's just allowed. So this does smell like it has some kind of fruit component. Now, you know, you always hear about Canadian rye whiskey. Well, with these, you don't really pick up a lot of rye. I think I pick up more rye in the Ancient Age preferred blended whiskey from Kentucky, to tell you the truth. But anyway, this has also some grain, indistinguishable cereal grains, right? A little alcohol burn, some mint. Wood, you know, faint. Dried flowers and all that. I was talking to my friend Paul about bourbon last night, and he was saying, yeah, I don't really like it either. You know, he was talking about how we were both talking about that grits taste. You know, it tastes like corn grits, and we grew up eating grits all the time. And after a while, and if you don't eat, some people say, I live in Illinois, we don't eat grits. Okay, but you probably eat corn chips, tostadas, stuff like that. But it tastes kind of like the Tostitos. You know, it kind of tastes like that, but with charred wood. Now, I'm sorry that it sounds bad for me to say that, but I don't think people have to apologize for having a personal preference, to tell you the truth. It's just what you like. I know a lady who loves onion rings. She hates onions. And I tease her about it, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. She says, oh, I'm going to take these onions off the hamburger. I said, well, you love onion rings. But she hates raw onions, so it's just strange, you know. But I mean, she doesn't have to apologize. She doesn't have to answer to me because she doesn't want to eat raw onions. I don't have to answer to you or anyone else if I don't really like bourbon that much. Okay, well, you know, it's what it's what you want. Now this one here. Okay, all right. Different, and actually considerably different. And I'm going to tell you why. There is a white chocolate aroma. I'm serious. And there's that nut oil, like pecan oil. Remember I talked about that in the Canadian Leaf video. I did the solo review of it, which I posted yesterday. I have to post a beer video in a little while. I can't upload them while I'm doing the live hangout. It doesn't work. Like, it just won't. It won't work. Can't do a duo. To my knowledge, you can't do it concurrently. More oak, charred oak barrel here. Maybe, oh yeah, dried fruit and all that stuff, but dried flowers. But Okay, well, that puts that to rest, that this idea that they're the same thing in two different bottle labels. No way. No way. No way, Jose. Now this one's starting to, it's funny how when they breathe, they start to bring out things you didn't notice before, because this one's starting to bring out like it is starting to bring out rye. The rye spice. Well. I can't wait to taste it, and that's why I'm not going to wait. I'm going to taste it now. Let me see any comments. I want to try to end this by the bottom of the hour because I want to watch all the baseball highlights, and I want to go to the store, and time gets away from you. Okay, Sam Yarborough Jr. Hey, Sam. Louisiana beer reviews rules. Well, thank you. Reaper Actual. So I feel like blended whiskey would cause a worse headache than normal whiskey. If they are blending fruit in it, then it will have a higher sugar content. Yeah, you see, I just don't know. That's beyond, the science is beyond me, you see. What about Kessler? Oh, yes. I have a bottle. That is on the drinking schedule, believe me. And I have a little tiny bottle like this, Canadian Leaf. Oh, man, I should have bought a big bottle, but I didn't. Anyway, on with the taste. Okay. Wow. You know what? Go back to my regular screen. I was looking at the playback. All it was just the buffering thing, but I'm still seeing the comments, so it's okay. Well, that has a lot of spice in it. Okay. And the flavors generally associated with whiskey, you know what I mean? Grain, cereal grains of indistinguishable character, dried flowers, some candied fruitcake fruit, all the things you expect, but no corn grits, no heavy charcoal burn, which makes me put on, like DJ says, makes me put on my happy face. Going on. Oh, not the same, 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 not the same. It's almost like, you drink these beers and they're like, and I don't see those too much anymore. That was like a big thing for about an hour. All these beers with nuts in it. Oh, pecans. It's got almonds. It's roasted on. It's got walnuts aged in it. But then you never saw it again. It tastes kind of like that, when they do that with those beers. Well, you can see where I'm going with this. I already said this has got to be, I said this tastes like that Canadian Leaf because it's amazing. I only tried it twice 2 days ago. I did the review and then the guy had the motor running in the background and it irritated me. So I poured a little more. Then I had to pour a little bit more for the photo. And you say, oh, you're just cheating because you wanted to drink. No, I wanted the photo to come out nice and I wanted the video to come out nice. Actually, I didn't want to pour it at all because I wanted to keep enough in here for the taste challenges. So I actually regretted pouring it. I didn't really want to pour it because I'm so limited. It's not like I can go run out and buy some more Canadian Leaf. I don't think I can. So that wouldn't, the point, that would be a bad argument because I was trying to avoid pouring it. I was about to talk about how I could go to Baton Rouge and find like 20 other Canadian whiskey brands that I can't get here, but I need to cool out on that. I need to take a chill pill. I got to drink down my stash. You know what I mean? It's going to take a long time. I was getting ready to take a bath. I take baths because I like that hot water, like the old Westerns where they got the hot water, but then I'm sure got lukewarm very quick in the old Westerns. But I was thinking about that. I said, I think I can finish all of the bourbon by January 1st, 2019. I think I can drink it down. And then I'll be able to just go total rotation taste challenge, you know. Yep, I believe that will happen. I'm going to call it. This one's got too much of that, and I don't know what it is. You know, it's like somebody tells you something, so now it's in your head, plum wine. Like you say, but that's only like 2%, probably. Yeah, but sometimes the 2% can make a big difference. You see, like, you'd be surprised that the little bit can make a lot. You know, the little bit of product can make a lot of difference. Like, I'll give you an example, like the blended whiskeys. You might assume that they're all the same because they're only 20% straight whiskey, usually bourbon whiskey. But you would be very wrong because they're not the same. And that 2% sherry might be different types of sherry. The different bourbons, the age is different. The age is not the same. The production facility is not the same. The barrel char, whether it's thick alligator char or thin, is going to make a difference. So you think, oh no, it's all the same. It's not. It is not. Believe me, it is not. Similar, not the same. So I think this is a Canadian, Albertsons Canadian whiskey, a blend. And I'm right. Woo! Ha ha ha. And I think this is the Canadian leaf. Obviously it is, because there's only two things. CL, I'll put CL, Canadian leaf. Oh, well, you know, I'm very confident that I'm going to get these correct because the Albertsons blended whiskey kept tripping me up. I was stumbling. I don't mean from the alcohol. I was stumbling from the taste. Like, I put it up. You can go watch all the challenges. And I was like putting it up against everything, and it kept coming out the same as far as quality, which was a shock because after the episode with my friend David, I was thinking it's really bad, and I don't realize it's bad. Like, I'm not grasping that it's horrible. You know, my complaint was that it had no flavor and no aroma. If you watch the original video, but these initial ideas, I think, can change. They can evolve because then the bottle's open and it kind of breathes. It gets air in it. And I think the air might affect it. I'm not a scientist. And then it starts to, the performance increases. What I say, the performance quality goes up. And so that really tricked me out. But these Canadian whiskeys, I think, are more distinct. I don't know. But I think they're more distinct on average than the American blended whiskeys, distinct from one another. But we'll see. Time will tell now, or the tasting will tell. Here's the taste challenges coming up with that. I have Canadian Club 6-year. I mean, I don't think I'm going to confuse Canadian Leaf with Canadian Club. I really don't think that's going to happen. But I could be shocked. Then we've got, what's the other one? Seagram's VO. That one's kind of dull, you know. So, although when I started drinking more on it, the wood started to come out, and it wasn't detectable at first. So that could be interesting. And then the Canadian, the Seagram's VO Gold. I don't see how I'm going to get this confused with an 8-year age Canadian blended with, but you never know, right? So, and there might be another one I have that I haven't opened yet. But so that's what we're going to do there. Once we exhaust that, the Canadian round robin sort of thing, then we'll go with another blended American whiskey. And I think the one I'm going to do, I'm going to wait on Kessler. I'm going to do it soon, but I'm going to get the Canadian, I'm going to get the Club Royale. I'm going to do the Club Royale. I could not even find a trademark date for that. It's like Club Royale does not exist in reality, but there it is on the shelf. Club Royale. And I could have bought the big glass bottle, and I made a mistake not buying it. I bought the little $1.99 plastic bottle. But after all, in my defense, I was buying a lot of stuff at Specs last year. I mean, I was gobbling it up like, oh, so can't buy everything. I want to buy everything. Okay, so I feel a lot better now because I nailed it just on aroma. On aroma, I knew what it was that quick. So that makes me a little bit confident. So we got a beer, and you're going to love this beer review because you know what it is? Rockdale Ice. So here we're looking at two products that are enjoyable. Like, they're good. They're cheap, but they're good. They're a great value, a great value. Hey, do you think Rockdale Ice is a great value? Watch that video. I think you know what that's going to show. I think we know what's going to be in that video review. And I've got to start recording some video reviews because you would not believe all the stuff Shane Fudge sent me. I've got Kronenbourg, not Kronenbourg 1664. No. I've got the original Kronenbourg from France. He brought it back from his trip to France. This is the last beer that Jim Morrison drank before he died. Yeah. No, it wasn't the beer that killed him. And I've got, I'm not going to get to it. It's so much exciting stuff. All right. Thank you for watching this video production.